Hi and welcome to Exploring with Em and Stu.
And today we are at something very, very exciting. We've come across an abandoned village. Never done this before on the channel. Emma's got a tiny little bit of information for you.
Well, other than the fact that we are in the mountains of Snowdonia, pretty much in North Wales, that's about all I think we're going to tell you. That we don't have an awful lot of information about it, but there's certainly plenty to see.
So come with us. Very exciting time. Let's go and have a look.
So our understanding is that this area was occupied by a small village until they started working on a nearby quarry, and all of these buildings got taken over by that quarry, including this one behind us, which appears to have been a manor house, but we believe it went on to be used as offices.
This building is absolutely incredible actually, and Emma's just done a nice little introduction there of what possibly this place is.
I mean, we've done a little bit of research on this place and it's very, very limited. A lot of it contradicts each other, so we're not overly sure. So if you know a little bit more about it and you sort of know where we are, then please tell us. But a lot of it's going to be guesswork. We'll try our best.
But where we're going to be heading down now is down this path here, where we're going to be seeing Emma do her next bit.
So the next structure we've come across, we believe, was actually the original chapel for the village. And here it is. As you can see, this quite clearly looks like a chapel. So we're going to go with the fact that this probably was the original chapel. Now, like many of the buildings all around this village, this was converted into many different things after, of course, it wasn't used as a chapel anymore. The research that I've done says that it could have possibly been used for dog kennels. Stu believes that it looks more like a small village. To be quite honest with you, we're not overly sure. But it's quite an amazing structure.
I think Emma's doing really, really well on this explore, considering we don't actually know what this is. But I generally, the thing is, what I'm finding I'm struggling with is that they've gone out and actually built brick sort of like roofs and with chimneys in them. Now, why would they do that to a dog kennel?
Maybe they love their dogs.
I doubt that very much.
Of course, this area with the manor house there, the guy who lived here would have very likely have had hunting dogs, because back in the day, if you were anybody, then that's what you did, wasn't it?
That is right, but would he have built like cottages for dogs? I just don't see it. I don't see it, but it doesn't matter. This is the structure. We can't get into this part of the structure because obviously it's very dangerous.
It's quite magnificent inside.
It is.
Which is why when we saw it, we knew it was certainly part of the chapel with this huge big archway. I mean, this is quite ornate. And I don't think, well, we've seen numerous chapels around this area which look very much like this up in Wales. They don't so much have the sort of churches that we're used to over in East Anglia. They have chapels, don't they?
They have chapels, yeah.
But
we are going to have a disappear over to the stables in a second, because the stables are quite impressive, but I don't know if we can get into them. There are other structures we can get into here.
There are some quite astonishing structures that we are going to show you, so stay tuned for those
That's
later
it.
on.
So we're going to go over now and have a look. So here we go. We believe that this might be a stableman's hut, this one here. It does actually look like it, but I can't take you in there. But what I can show you, if you look, literally down there you see an archway, and that actually looks like that's where the stables are.
It does. It looks very much like sort of a very classical arch into a stable block.
I can see.
And obviously we've got this sort of manor just behind us.
Yes.
So I believe that this is a stable courtyard.
I say this is a stable courtyard, and I say this is like the workman's, the shoeman's, or whatever you want to call them.
It could have been some sort of workshop, all sorts of things they would have had out the back of these houses, wouldn't
Absolutely.
they?
So, but now we've found this bit, it is pretty ornate, it is really cool, but these are the structures we can't get into. The next part of this video is where we can.
The thing is though,
into.
the more we look around here, the more we find. This place is quite vast. Unfortunately, we're not going to have time to have a look at all of it, and a lot of it we can't pick up on the camera. But I mean, it is like a proper secret village, isn't it? Just hidden in the woods here.
Yes, it is. We know that BB people come down here because there's a target. I don't think they care about that too much, which is quite funny, really.
Well, fair enough.
But yeah, so the next part is going to be quite exciting.
So, being quite adamant that there is more to see of this manor house and its stables, I've decided to come just slightly off the beaten track to behind where the house actually is. Stu's decided not to join me on this explore, but he's not too far away. And to start with, here we are, more features, more secret little doorways that go into more little structures. I mean, this place, it just keeps on giving. I mean, it's quite incredible. I don't know if you can see, but we've got features there. We've got walls along here. I mean, even this, probably another structure. But the best one of all, which I'm quite excited to show you, is just over here. A little bit of a problem with the sun glare, so I'm not going to turn it around quite yet. But this is the feature that I really wanted to look at. And here we have it. There are those quite magnificent stable block entrance, I believe. This is what it is. And look at the condition of them. I mean, I'm not afraid at all to walk underneath that. I don't think that there's any chances of any of that falling down, but we've got more structures through here. Again, I don't know if this is some sort of outhouse for the manor, and another archway through to what we believe was the stable courtyard. And again, here's the buildings that we were looking at around the other side, with more structures up here. A big window just there, I'm not sure if you can see that. And here it is itself. Here is the actual manor house. Now, I've promised Stu that I'm not actually going to go any closer than this because he's a little concerned that it might be unsafe. But there's not actually anything above me other than open sky and trees, so I think we're relatively safe. I can actually hear some running water down here. So maybe this was a little bit of a, well, looks like some sort of natural spring. I guess these places were normally built near a water supply. But I'm going to take you back through these arches, look, because there's something else I want to show you. So back through those arches, here's the other little place I wanted to just give you a little explore of. And I'm going to turn you around because here we have a small set of stairs. I'm quite intrigued as to where they go. This looks like maybe it was some way up or down into a garden. We have some ornate sort of fence posts here and through what was a little gate. Up to, I don't know, I'm assuming this was an outdoor area, possibly a terrace. Again, we've got more structures here. And into what I believe is either a door or a window from an upper level. I mean, gosh, that looks like it could even be a chimney. But here we have it, some of those outbuildings that we were looking at from across the way. And just here is those arches. So there we have it. That was worth taking my own little solo explore with you. But I think it's about time we got back to Stu and take you to look at some more of these quite incredible hidden buildings.
So, thank you, Emma, for that little bit of an explore inside the bushes there.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, you couldn't help it.
There's just so much to find around here, like I said.
And not just that, you can actually get to a part of the house around there, but I won't let Emma inside, but you could get a nice overview.
That's it, inside. From the courtyard, yeah, it was quite incredible. But
it is.
I believe that this hasn't actually been lived in since about the 1930s, so it's been left here an awful long time to fall down. So.
It has, but if these were offices, they were probably used up until what?
Oh, I don't really know. No,
I think that's why we were a bit confused on it all.
Again, the information isn't really abundant, is it, about this place? But what an incredible place, this sort of small manor house just in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's incredible, it really is.
And we've still got so much to see. So let's go and have a quick look at that, shall we?
So just following on down the side of the chapel with that quite amazing archway, we've come to another quite decorative part, which we believe was actually an additional add-on. It's quite splendid to look at, so I think we need to go and have a look at that. And here it is, with its decorative porch and ornate windows, which records state were actually stained glass at one point. It's really quite a sight just in the middle here of the forest. Again, like so many of the buildings around here, this actually went on to have another use after it was a chapel. And as you can see by the fireplaces and the small partitions, this was clearly converted into some sort of home. So from the small amount of information we actually have about this chapel is that it was last lived in by a gardener, obviously converted into a small dwelling. Some of this was also used as offices, as well as probably other sort of buildings and things for the quarry. But that's the chapel for you. We're going to get outside and we're going to be met by Stu again.
So just coming out here, Emma's just meeting me. What an incredible place, Emma.
It is really quite incredible. It almost reminds me of like a hidden temple in the jungle. You know, it's like, it's amazing.
This whole village is like a hidden temple in a jungle. It's quite amazing.
It is. I've never seen anything like it.
No, it's really incredible. I mean, everything about it is amazing.
I think research says actually that this chapel had like a stained glass window that the chap that built it had dedicated to, I think, his late wife or something. It's only little snippets of information like that I've actually got about it, but we do know that sadly in the 1950s it was actually hit by an arsonist, and this is what we're left with now, I suppose, so that's quite sad.
And that is a shame. That is such a shame that this place was burnt down, really. But we have got a couple more things to show you, and we are going to go head over there right now.
That's it, quite excited. So as we leave the chapel behind, I'm going to take you for another little explore because I've spotted another little secret stairway, which again looks quite intriguing. And here we are. I believe there might be another little building at the top here. I mean, like I've said, this place is absolutely littered with, I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of these ruins. I really wish we could sort of decipher what they are. Actually, I think there's might be more to see up here than what I thought. And this has got quite a large window, so I do wonder what it was. Gosh, look, and it goes on and on. I mean, wow. Let's have another little look down the side here and see if there's any more. I'm not sure there is, but I do want to take you for a little look at the side of the chapel, again, to see if we can see any of those sort of features. And here we have it. This is obviously an upstairs window. But I mean, I really could spend literally all day, like all weekend at this place. It is really quite incredible. But I think Stu's going to be wondering where I am, so I'm going to get back down these stairs and rejoin him. So leaving that quite amazing chapel behind us, we're met with a bit of a driveway. This side is an embankment lined with slate, clearly holding up a bit of a road above. Whereas this side is also made of slate, but it's quite ornate and topped with these quite lovely looking coping stones, which makes up quite a long driveway, which leads all the way to some more structures. And here we bring you to the last building we're going to show you. And here it is, the last building, which is clearly a very big house. We've had a quick look around. It's quite substantial inside. We're quite excited about taking you for a little look. So this house appears to have been probably lived in by somebody quite important, because it's an awful lot larger and more grand than a lot of the buildings that we see around here. We've got these quite ornate windows with its lovely lintels above still in place. And down here we've got a fireplace that has actually still got a little bit of metal there. Again, we've not actually seen this anywhere else. But as you can see, I'm actually standing quite high up because unfortunately the roof and much of the structure has actually collapsed in, burying an awful lot of the features under my feet. But there's plenty more to see here. So we're going to take you around the other side where it's a bit safer and have a look.
So Emma's coming out of the house
well,
now.
It's quite a small doorway now, but you can
is.
imagine it was actually really grand. Like I said, it's quite ornate and decorative, that house. I think it was probably lived in and owned by somebody quite important from the quarry.
That's it.
That's our guess.
There is a few little things around the back that we'd like to show you. So I think we're going to head round there before we finish this video.
It's actually a bit of a warren of rooms and all sorts of interesting features around there. So
let's go and have a look.
So just bringing you down the side of this house, we've actually spotted another doorway, which makes us almost wonder whether or not this could have been more than one house. But we can get into this, it's quite clear, so let's go and have a look. So as we come through the door of what is possibly an actual separate house to the one just over there, we're met with, again, quite a grand room. In fact, possibly two, because there's two fireplaces here. We've got this one, which is quite a large one. I should think this is probably a kitchen. I imagine there was probably stoves and all sorts of things here. And just down here, this is quite intriguing. It looks like we've got a little cellar, maybe some sort of scullery or something where they use to keep food cool. I mean, it's just a bit of a guess, but you know, it's a decent guess, I think. But there's a little doorway that goes off here into a small sort of little warren of rooms, which are all sort of connected to each other. So let's go and have a look. So having come through from the larger room with that fireplace, like I said, we're sort of met by a small warren of tiny little rooms. This one looks like it might have just been like a little lean-to and a window and a door through to somewhere else. So I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to give you a little explore. And this is what we are met with. I'm quite excited. This isn't going to be the most professional explore because there is just so much to see. But it looks like we've got a doorway which almost appears to go into yet another little cottage. This one in fact looks like it could be a bit older than the last one. And again, just everywhere there is, I think that could have been the doorway in, but there is these little rooms and areas, and I mean, goodness, I really don't know what a lot of these are, but they are really, like I keep saying, quite intriguing. I mean, this is quite an incredible explore. The more you look, the more you find. I mean, you really don't even know where to look. Looks like that was a large chimney breast there, but there's something through the back here that I am really quite excited to show you. Through here, which I believe was probably, I don't know, maybe a little courtyard. We've got a little cupboard, shed. I don't know if this was even part of the house. But just round here of what does appear to now be the outside, because we've got a bit of a gate here, which again goes through to more rooms, but we'll take a look at that later. We've got this interesting little tunnel that appears to go somewhere. Not really sure. And here we are out of this curious little tunnel to what is just a very large area, a bit of a pit. I mean, really don't know. With this large revetted wall that sort of stretches all the way round and up to what I believe is a road at the top there. I mean, I really can't even begin to sort of tell you what this could have been. But I'm going to get back through there and carry on taking you for a little look at those, or that house, possibly cottages. So here we are back through that curious little tunnel, which doesn't appear to have any particular use, but I don't know, maybe you know. But let's carry on our little sort of rudimental explore of this place. I'll turn you around and we are back into, clearly, more rooms. There's a doorway here. Is this a separate cottage? Is this just outbuildings of the other cottages, or was this structure actually just one last large house? But here we have it. Again, curious little areas, interesting little rooms. This appears to have been a bit of a, I don't know, well, it looks like it's been used as a toilet recently. Perhaps it was used as a toilet back then too. But we bring you back round the side of that original doorway that we went through, and back to the front of the building. And there we have it. Wow, that was quite an interesting, although not the most professional explore I've done, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway.
So that's Emma's little explore.
That was my adventures.
Your little adventure.
That was fun.
Looking forward to seeing it on the video actually whilst I'm editing it.
Yeah, it was really quite curious. I mean, it's so ruinous, this place. Like I said, we think they were used up until maybe the 1930s. It's so difficult to tell whether or not this is just one large house. I personally don't think so, because I don't think the rooms are large and grand enough for it to have been a large house. I think we're looking at possibly 3, maybe 4 cottages. fascinating.
That's quite
little
amazing.
rooms and little features. I mean, I love explores like this. I hope you've enjoyed
yeah,
taking a little look at that with us.
But finding a village in the middle of a mountain is just, it's just unbelievable. We just couldn't believe our luck when we stumbled across. We weren't even prepared to record
No,
this.
we didn't know this was here until we were just walking nearby, and we sort of thought, what is that in the trees? I went to have a little look.
And it was amazing.
We've come back with a tiny, tiny little bit of research. There's not an awful lot about, but I am so interested to find out more about this.
That's
so
it.
when I get home and I've got a really good internet signal, I'm
We'll
going
find out some
to be
more.
having a look.
We'll
and
put it in the description.
maybe in the future we'll find more here, because there is
it.
definitely more here.
That's it. But I think we're going to end the video here. But thanks for coming along. Please consider like and subscribing. It is free. It helps our channel build and build and build. And because of you, we are doing so well at the moment.
Yeah, here in Wales, who would have ever thought it?
That's
you know,
right.
this has been an incredible trip. But also, if you want to see a little bit more of us, we do have a Patreon for £3 a month. We've done a few exclusive things up here in Wales just for the Patreon, as well as dozens of past videos that you can also sort of catch up on if you sign up.
That's it. So as from Exploring with Em and Stu,
Here in the mountains, in an abandoned village, I mean, who would have thought it? Thanks for watching.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.